Tonight we're going to talk about debt collection. All right. Now there are two different types of debt collectors that collect on debts. Right. Now the first type is an actual debt collector. All right. And then the second type is a debt buyer. So yes, there are two different types of people or companies that collect on debts. So I'm going to get my notes pulled up here. I'm going to go over my notes with you guys to get you guys the difference between the two. So let's get started. Now, a debt collector collects on behalf of the original creditor. Now, the original creditor is the person whom you have went to which placed that account into collection. So let's say, for instance, that you all, of course, everybody have had medical bills before. You all went to urgent care or the emergency room, or if you had the ambulance called to your home, there was no insurance at the time, you could not pay, so they sent the account into collections. Okay, so that's the person who is the original creditor. Now, the debt collector does not own the debt, okay? They paid a percentage to get that debt, okay? Now, examples of the debt collector are collection companies or collection law firms. Now, a debt buyer, they purchase the debt outright, okay? They purchase the complete debt. They claims to be the creditor because they have completely outright bought that debt completely out. And they bought the debt for pennies on the dollar. All right. Now, here are examples of some of the companies that do this, that is a debt buyer. You have Midland Funding, Portfolio Recovery, LVNV Funding, and a company that's called Cavalry. All right. Now, also, debt buyers, they usually lack full documentation. There's no documentation at all. Now, why do we consider the debt as alleged debt? It's because they have to be proven. A debt is legally alleged until it's proven that it's not, right? Credit reports are not evidence. Collection letters are claims and they're not proof. The data is often incomplete or inaccurate. Now, collectors, they have to prove that you owe the debt, that they own the debt, the amount is accurate, and they have legal authority to collect on that debt. Until it is proven, the debt remains alleged. So just like I say, until proven guilty, they have to be treated as innocent. It's the same thing when it comes to collections. All right. Now, y'all probably say, well, how do they buy debt? Well, the original creditor, they bundles or put together thousands of charge-off accounts. Those accounts are sold as spreadsheets. And then the buyer, they receive that limited data. And if they only receive like your name, the last address, the balance, and sometimes the last payment date, sometimes. Now, what's usually not included is the original signed contract, the full payment history, and a complete chain of assignment, proof tied specifically to you. Now, this documentation gap is why collections fail validation, which is why we always send out validation letters, because they cannot prove it, right? Now, here's the deletion strategy when it comes to collections. The goal is for deletion and not payment. We are not trying to pay them. We are trying to get the deletion. So here are the steps that you want to do. The first thing is to send the debt validation letter, right? The debt validation request. And then you want to reach 30 days out. If they respond, you want to analyze the response. And then the fourth step would be to demand deletion if the validation fails. If you send out a validation letter to a debt collector or that debt buyer and they send you an out-of-line statement, that's not validation. This is when you are sending that demand deletion. And then you also want to dispute with the consumer reporting agencies, which is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And then you want to escalate if necessary. Now, when you escalate, you can escalation is pretty much reporting and filing complaints with the CFPB, the BBB, and also the Federal Trade Commission, right? Now, the debt validation request, I have here a little template that I put together. So I'm going to read it out to you guys so you guys can get like a glimpse of what your letter should look like when you're requesting that validation. Okay. To who it may concern, I am requesting validation of the above reference alleged debt pursuant to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is 15 U.S.C. 1692G. Please provide the following. 1, proof that I am legally obligated to pay this alleged debt. 2, proof that your company has the legal right to collect this debt, including a complete chain of assignment. 3, a copy of the original contract or agreement bearing my signature. 4, a complete payment history from the date of inception. 5, the name and address of the original creditor. 6, the date of default and the date of last payment. Until such validation is provided, you must cease all collection activity, including credit reporting. This letter is not an acknowledgement of liability. And then sincerely, your name. Something that's smooth, quick, straight to the point. All right. That's the validation letter that you send. Normally, most companies that I dealt with, either the collection agency or the debt buyer, they are automatically know they do not have it. They'll go ahead and delete. There'll be no response. Unlike LVNV lending, they kind of act hard sometimes. Like they just know just because they have out-of-line statements that, this is proof of the validation, you got to pay it. No, that is not proof that they own the debt or that you owe the debt. Okay. So with this being stated, I will put a link below this video that contains my debt collection package that has the round 1 and round 2, and also the escalation letters that you may or may not need when it comes to the collection agencies or the debt collectors. Collections are the most easiest things to get off. All right, so that's it for tonight, guys. Please make sure that you continue to follow me, share my videos, make comments as necessary. But as I stated again before, click the link in the bio if you want to make a consultation, if you're looking for a credit review or assistance that you may need with getting your credit fixed, or click the link for the debt collection to be removed, the alleged debt collection account to be removed from your consumer report. All right, that's it for tonight, and I'll see you later.